Hey everybody, PixsiStixs here. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are in Strangerville and we are working on the Riverside Grove lot. Originally this lot was a residential lot rather than a community lot, and I have turned it into a church. Um, I've been redoing this world for my save file, and I really wanted a wedding venue of some kind, and then I'm in this group on Facebook where these urban explorers post pictures of abandoned buildings and things like that they've explored. And this absolutely stunning abandoned church came up, and it was your traditional one room looking church with a big tall steeple, and it was just gorgeous, and I was so inspired, and I decided to pick up the Sims and build this, and I'm actually pretty pleased with the way it turned out. Originally I thought about building this in the vampire world. I think it's Forgotten Hollow. I haven't really played in it yet. um, I just recently got the vampire pack, so I haven't really had a chance to play in that world yet. And I originally thought about building it there, but my vision for that world for my save file is a little creepier, a little spookier, and I really wanted this church to be very bright and airy and pretty, and it definitely gave me small town vibes, which Strangerville also small town vibes. Um, and as someone from a small town, um, I I feel like this is something that you would see in a town like this. Maybe not this specific church, but this is the church that I liked. So I went ahead and I put this church on this lot. It is a fully functional wedding venue when I'm done, with a small graveyard. Um, I I do. I think I make the church a little bit bigger. It's kind of small right now. It's really tiny. When I was building this church, I knew what I wanted it to look like on the outside of the build. Like I knew I wanted the graveyard, and I knew what I wanted the aesthetics of the church to be, but I was really unsure what I wanted the inside to look like. Right here, I'm choosing some windows for the church. We have this one big window that I put on the back that's got some stained glass in it. Unfortunately, the smaller windows that match it just really aren't the vibe I was going for with the church. I placed them down here. I placed a couple windows here to kind of get a look at them and see what I like. And these I think they came together with get together. They're just not the vibe I had for this church, as pretty as they are. So I do end up going with those smaller, skinny, pointed windows. But I think, if I remember correctly, I think I keep the stained glass window on the back of the lot because I feel like it's a church, and churches do tend to have some stained glass. Maybe not a church of this style, but I wanted a little bit there, and that was the best we had. Because I don't use CC. If you're new to The Sims or anything like that. CC stands for custom content, which is made by the Sims community rather than the developers of the game. I don't use it in my builds. I do have some CC that I use for my Sims, like clothes and things like that, but never ones that I upload to the gallery, only ever ones that I use in my personal gameplays. So, like, if you ever see me do a Sims Let's Play, there may be some CC there, but anything I upload to the gallery will not have CC in it. Um, because of that, that leaves me very limited on windows and things with what the developers have actually put in the game. And these windows I'm using right now are probably the most church-like windows that we have in game. Um, so that I went with those. They work. They're not exactly what I wanted, but I felt like they were much brighter. And in this build, there's not a lot of room for like lighting, so I felt like open, big, bright windows were really important to the aesthetics of the inside. Here I am kind of just stretching the line. I went way too big that first time, and I'm really glad that I moved it back because I feel like this is a really comfortable length for this build. Because the church, this is just a box, and like I don't typically like building in just boxes, but this is the style of church I was going for. Um, so, uh, there's some limited space. The layout was interesting. Like right here, I originally put these walls down, and that little rainbow door I just placed, that room was supposed to be like a daycare room, and then the other one was going to be the bathroom. And then I thought about putting in a basement, but it was doing some weird things with the terrain, so I didn't end up putting in the basement. It is just the church. There's no basement, unfortunately. I really wanted one, but I couldn't make it work. I do end up changing the bathroom and the playroom. The playroom goes away. There's just not enough room for toys. It is a very small build. Right here, I am looking for an altar. I don't know how many churches you've been in, but the churches I've been in have always had some kind of, at least churches of this style have always had some kind of altar thing. And I wanted one because I felt like it went with the vibe of the church. I did struggle with it a little bit. Finding church pews was hard because we don't really have church pews per se. We have a lot of like benches and we have couches and things. And I was originally going to go with the stone one, and then it looked really uncomfortable, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I do go with this white couch here. I change it. It is not that color, but it does stay the same couch. It felt the most church-like to me. I wasn't going for any real specific religion, just because it's The Sims, and I wanted a wedding venue that was a church. That was really 90% of the motivation for this church was I wanted a wedding venue. Um, so I'm I do my best to make it kind of generic. Um, the altar changes about 10 times. I think I end up going with the marble slab one, because to me it was the prettiest. I liked that one the best. I thought about going with this one with the tablecloth on it and these white pews, but it is so stark white in there, and it wasn't the vibe I was going for. So I do change the colors. I also took forever to decide whether or not I wanted curtains on these windows. I cut out most of it. We don't really have curtains that fit well. So I kind of compromised and I put like those little doves between the windows, because we just didn't have curtains that I felt like fit. Um, Here I am. There's a graveyard in the back of this church, and this is me trying to decide a fence for it. I got frustrated with the inside, so I moved to the outside, which I have a tendency to do. I found this gate, and I fell in love with it, which is why I changed the fencing to this tall one. I do move it in a little smaller. In The Sims 3, you could kind of pick where the fence posts went by how you drew the fencing. In The Sims 4, they just auto place. They weren't centering correctly where I wanted them with the fence posts. So I do make it a little tinier. When I release my save file, I will probably use the tool mod to extend it off the lot. But for the gallery build, it won't be like that. Also, this terrain paint is not the same as what's on the gallery. When I built this lot, the Sims was having this glitch where if you saved and you left and you came back, your terrain paint would disappear. Super frustrating. I was not happy about it. So I do end up having to redraw my terrain paint, but the layout of this graveyard stays the same. I don't change it. Um, and I am only using generic tombstones here, but I do plan on in my save file actually killing off some Sims so that I can have some actual tombstones. Um, and then it took me a minute. I really wanted this tree that was next door to put in there, and I did end up eventually finding it in debug, but there's no way to sort debug, so I had to search for it. This is me just searching through debug. So this Joshua tree, it's actually kind of funny. In a second, I'm about to place a Joshua tree in the front. And anyone who doesn't know what a Joshua tree is, Google it. I live near Joshua trees. I absolutely 100% hate them. And my husband was like, why'd you do a trash tree? You don't even like them." And I was like, "Cause it fits the vibes. It's the vibes." I really, if you've ever seen a Joshua tree in real life, there are some that are smaller that are similar to the ones that they give us in game. But most Joshua trees that are older are these big full trees with like lots of branches and stuff like that. So I combined a couple of them to make a bigger, better Joshua tree, if there is a such thing as a better Joshua tree. In my personal opinion, there's not. I don't like them. But I think I put two on this lot, which is funny because it's very not me. Um, and then this is just me just kind of laying out the graveyard, trying to figure out where I want some of these tombstones to go. Um, I'm kind of happy with the placement. I wasn't sure how to put them because the yard is so small, and I haven't been in a lot of graveyards. I'll be honest, most of the people I know who have passed have been cremated. I've been in like two, so I don't really know what graveyards look like, and I didn't want to like Google it and then make a specific graveyard, so I improvised and I guessed, and I'm hoping it looks okay. This is me going with the altar. I do change it over to the marble one, and then this statue. I really love this statue and just wanted an excuse to use it, so I did. But I wanted the altar to have some things on it because I felt like it was far too empty. Um, while I did try to I tried not to decorate this venue too much. When personally as a Sims player, when I go into a wedding venue that I've downloaded from the gallery, I hate having to change the decorations to match what I want for my Sims because sometimes you go in and like you don't want to decorate at all, and I totally understand that. But other times, like especially in a legacy challenge, you've got these stories built up in your head and you're like, this Sim's favorite color is purple, and I really want purple to be the color of my wedding venue. So I did sparsely decorate it on purpose because I want you to be able to come in and download this lot from the gallery and decorate it for your specific Sims. And also, if you have any storytelling you want to do where you just need a church and you don't want a wedding venue, I didn't want it like decked out for a wedding. I do put like some tables and things in there so that you have the ability to have a wedding in here, but I didn't want like it decorated for a wedding. That just wasn't the vibe I was going for. Um, Normally in my builds, I do cut out this part here where I do the bathroom. Bathrooms are so boring, and I feel like it's not. Usually, it's not something that like anyone really wants to watch. But I had the time to keep it and the landscaping with this build because I didn't I have a tendency to take like 6 hours to build a build. So then my speed builds are like an hour long, and I don't want an hour long YouTube video. But this one was kind of short, so I was able to put the bathroom in, and it's boring. Tried to use the bathroom stalls from university, and they're just far too big. I really wish they were one tile, and then like connected in like a grid, which would be really cool. But because they're not, I did end up having to make my own bathroom stalls, which I haven't done in a while, but you have to. I do think I also moved that tree that's clipping. I can see it, and I'm pretty sure I moved it. If I didn't, I'm sorry. This is me putting in the stuff to make it a wedding venue. I forgot a table to put the cake on. I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot. Um, but you could always use that. You could always edit it, put one in, go and take the fountain off the buffet table. But I also feel like the buffet table makes it so that like, okay, so my sim, if you've got a story where your sims are going to church or whatever, like, okay, now there's some food after the church or whatever. Maybe that's the way their church gets together is they eat afterwards or something. So I did try to keep those super basic and just very beige and very neutral, so that you can go in and you can decorate it with whatever colors and it's not going to look silly. Um, which is why I did do very minimal on the walls. Uh, I tried so hard to put a chandelier in here, and they're also gaudy and awful and not what I was looking for. But I found these the candle sconces that go on the wall, and I really like those. I tried to use these standing ones. Um, but they just weren't working. Like I wasn't feeling them. So I did find these ones that go on the wall. I'm putting them on here real wonky right now, but give me a second. I do fix them. I do straighten them up. There is one in the bathroom that I'm pretty sure I didn't straighten. It doesn't match up with the other one, but if it triggers you and it bothers you, you just scoot it up a little bit and it's fine. Um, so I found that those were the best. I don't know how good the lighting in here is at night. Um, so you may need to add some of like the saucer lights or something like that to light it up if you're doing like nighttime things. Um, but I didn't really I didn't want to because I don't like the way they look. I might have left like that one in the center that you can see right now, but I didn't do a lot. I also don't keep an aisle runner, which is what I was trying to do right now. I just couldn't find one that worked. Like this pink one, if you're having a pink wedding, yay, it's great. But I couldn't find one that was fitting what I wanted. And I wanted to put some carpet in here without actually putting carpet down. And that didn't work either. And I end up just leaving the floor bare and blank. Um, and yeah, I don't know. These are some last minute little touches that I'm doing right now. I originally was going to decorate these for a wedding venue and then just decided minimal. I'm gonna do the little basket that everybody passes around. God, I forget what it's called. And I'm gonna put it on the chair and I think I do some incense on the altar. But I just wanted it to be really a very simple, basic build. Something that you could come in and make your own, or make it match the Sims that you decide to play with. And I'm hoping I did a good job of doing that. I'm hoping it is something that you can go ahead and go on and use in your own game and have it work for you. You can find this under, I believe it's under Grove Church on my gallery. My gallery name is the same as my YouTube name, PixsiStixs, PixsiStixs. I know that's really, the spelling on that one it's interesting, but it worked. It was what was available on social media with Pixsi being the first part of it because I've gone by that forever on the internet and I've always been Pixsi. I have a lot of friends who know my real name and only call me Pixsi. So, ugh, another Joshua tree. I don't like them. But yeah, it is on the gallery under Grove Church. I did put the terrain paint in. Hopefully, the terrain paint actually stayed when I put it down. But that's it. We're kind of hitting the end of the video. We've got some screenshots here. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you subscribed, hit the little bell. It'll let you know when I upload new videos. If you're not new, if you could leave a like and a comment, I would be eternally grateful. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Thanks. Bye.